Hey world of YouTube, it's your girl Miss Sparkle Mama. I'm coming to you tonight to discuss sensory disorders. In specific, this one I'm going to focus on oral sensories. But I'm going to start with a sensory processing disorder is a condition in which the brain has trouble receiving and responding to information that comes through the senses. So, senses in this case, in specific my son, is oral sensory. So he likes to read things with his mouth, basically, like a toddler, but subconsciously, because he's older and can do it with his hands as well, it's just, he just likes to put stuff in his mouth. And we're going to start with a few things around the house that I collected that I definitely, on the regular, tell him to spit out. So first is magnets. These little magnets is one of his favorite things to chew on, and all I see is one of these just shooting down his throat. Drives me insane. I have thrown these away and he's pulled them out of the trash. He loves these things. Scares me so bad. Another thing is, you know those noodles that you can get at the dollar store for the pool, you know, and float around in? He loves destroying noodles. They're soft, they're easy to rip, and so he just yanks at them, you know, like a little puppy dog, just ripping away at stuff. He loves these things. There's little foam pieces all over my house all the time. And what he'll do is he'll rip them off in like shreds, like that, and just eats them. And then he chews on it. So then they become really itty bitty tiny pieces. So, and I'm like, stick my hand out, and just a handful of this glob of foam just comes out. I'm like, dude, really? You just like, what, mama? You just, whoop. Not a whole lot going on when it comes to this stuff because it's completely subconscious. It's super scary for some of the things that he has put in his mouth. Wires. Let's see. Wires. Oh, these are headsets. I buy these in bulk. I have probably purchased over 150 of these. He goes through headsets like nobody's business, and he needs them for school. You know, if he's playing his game, it's so much easier if he has a headset, so I don't have to hear it all the time. But if the wire is close to his face, it goes in his mouth, period. That's just, and I don't even fight about the headsets anymore. I just know that I'll buy more. I don't know how to stop that. I've tried, and we work on it, and I can just keep the repetitiveness of saying, get that out of your mouth, Zaire, not in your mouth. That doesn't belong in your mouth, Zaire. I say that on average 10 times a day, every single day. So it's something I've worked on forever. And he's 13, so there you go. But one thing I have purchased, and I have a couple of these, is it's a shark tooth. And it comes on a necklace, and it has a little clasp. And I got it on Amazon, and I will add the link below of where you can get this. And this is not, I'm not promoting Amazon or the site that I get it from at all. It's just something really cool that I found that does help. If we can remember, one, to put it on him and he doesn't take it off and lose it, because they're kind of expensive for the chew toys just to have around. But they're like basically for big kids and adults that have oral sensory disorders. So you're not walking around with, you know, teething toys like a baby. Even though the teething toys, I found when he was younger, they worked pretty good until he realized that he could break them. He could chew through them. And once he was able to do that, it was you know, all bets off, because he would just like, it was like, okay, game, you know, challenge accepted, just rip through them, and he would just eat them. So this one it's a thicker rubber, and it seems to hold up pretty well. We've had a couple of these for a while now, so they're pretty awesome. Again, I'll put them in the link below, letting you know where you can find them. I think it was like 20 bucks on Amazon or something like that. Totally worth it, especially if you have an older kid that will just gnaw on it and try to break them. It's a subconscious thing. He doesn't try to eat through them. Once it's there and he knows he will. So it's stood up. It's stood the test of time. So these are pretty awesome. Wires, like charging wires, like for your phone, basic everyday charging wires. Walked into the room and they're in his mouth, plugged into the wall. I'm like, oh, Zaire, how about we spit that out? And he's like, you know, he just, every time he just opens his mouth up. And I'm like, that's plugged into the wall, sweetie. Like, do you know what happens if you're chewing on a wire that's plugged into the wall? And he's all like, no. I'm like, you'll get electrocuted. He's like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't. But again, it's making an oblivious child, you know, recognize the situation. And it's constant reminder. And it's that delicate reminder of, I don't want to make you feel like you're dumb or like a little baby, but I need you to pay attention. And he does not. He just doesn't. And again, we try. It is a daily thing. So if you have an oral sensory thing going on, it may not be as extreme, it may be more extreme, comment below. Let me know in the discussion. Hey, I've done this, I've dealt with it this way. If your kid does, you know, what's some tips and tricks that you've used through the years? As far as I'm concerned, this is the best so far. Because, you know, for years he wasn't even able to wear long sleeve shirts because he would just chew through his sleeves. His cuffs on all his like hoodies and jackets, they're all eaten through and wholly and spread about. And the collars, the elastic's gone on all his collars, and any strings to tighten them, they're all gone. So just some stuff that I've dealt with. And if you have, let me know. How did you do with it? How did you deal with it? What worked? What didn't? What have you tried? What's you know been an utter failure? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, not to do that. I don't know. I don't have anything that has like not worked to work because he puts everything in his mouth. I've held my hand out and bottle caps from outside have, you know, been spit out. It's just completely subconscious. He'll pick something up and he'll be playing with it, you know, feeling it with his hands and rubbing it around. And if it's in his hand, eventually it will end up in his mouth. That is one thing I've learned. So if I'm paying attention to what you're picking up, I'm like, just give it to me. And that's about as good as I got. So again, if you have something better, let me know, because this is something I've struggled with for years. So that's all I got for tonight. Next video, I'm going to discuss another sensory disorder, and I'm going to try to do a couple of these and try to link them all together and maybe come up with a big picture plan, and something I've been discussing with his doctor about this too, so I'll put that in the next video. But hit that like, subscribe button if you'd like more and you want to get to know me and be part of our discussion and uplifting these kids that, you know, need to be uplifted and loved with all their craziness and loveliness. So, it's your girl, Miss Sparkle Mama, and I love you. I'm out. Bye.